Welcome aboard Skylark Outdoors here, and today we're going to review the Sailfish 316DC and take you on a tour of this lovely boat. Now, these are exceptionally high quality boats, and we're going to get into some of the features later, but let's take you on a tour here. This one is outfitted with those beautiful white Yamaha 300s. You have a max horsepower rating of 700 horsepower. You can see we've got tons of rod storage here in the aft of the boat. And then on the top here, we've got additional rod storage. A total of 14 rod holders are going to come in this boat as is. Now, what I like is you can see these seats are a little bit wider than your traditional one-person seat. And then you have the stowaway folding seats both on the starboard and port side of this boat. These are very comfortable seats. This is a true fishing boat, but it is also laid out as a dual console boat, which I love. I'm a big fan of dual consoles because they can serve dual purposes. You can have a lovely day fishing as well as take the family or guests out on the water. That is our head, as well as a little bit of storage there. They've got some of the covers stored in there for the boat show. This is, by the way, at the Bay Harbor International Boat Show in 2024. And then we've got back here a little bar and sink area, and you've got a little ice bucket there in this other one, or a cooler, so you can throw your beverages in there as well. And then you've got your helm station here, so you've got Yamaha controls. You can go with the digital controls, and then you've got both the joystick or the dual throttle. You've got this one outfitted with some electronics at the helm, and as we move forward, what is really interesting about this boat is that this is a 30-foot 6 length of hull, but it feels much bigger. It feels much more like a 30, maybe a 34-foot boat with the layout and how the space is accommodated. We've got our windlass here, and how that happens, I believe, is they've shortened this bow section here where they have seating all the way to the front of the bow, where sometimes you have a larger windlass locker there, which I feel like is a lot of times wasted space. So they kind of perfected the bow on this, and you sit up a little bit higher, which I like. You've got very solid windows. I mean, these are solid windows that you could go out in rough water and fishing in, or windshield there. And then you could enclose all this cockpit area with isinglass if you wanted for those later season trips. Now you can see you've got extra seating right there. On the starboard side, you've got rear seating there as well. And then that is a fold down seat, as well as you have side entry. And I've mentioned this before on a lot of my other boat reviews. I love having that side door, one for getting on and off the dock, but also pulling fish in. Sometimes it's just easier to come to the side and pull a fish in than it is to come through the rear there. But you've got both options here, and this thing just looks beautiful. It's kind of a gray color, and then you've got those beautiful white Yamahas on there as well. Now you could outfit it with up to 700 horsepower, but we're going to do a full walk around this 316DC Sailfish so you can just see the looks of this. This has a beautiful hull shape, and you can see why I think that it feels like it is a larger boat for its size, is they really use all of that space up there at the bow, and there's a lot of space in the rear of the boat as well. And then you've got that nice hard top on there. So let's go through some of the stats on this boat, and then some of the things that I really like about this that you probably don't know about Sailfish boats. So stick around for that. This is a 30-foot 6-inch hull. It is rigged up with the engines there, and we're at 32 feet and 6 inches. It's got a 9-foot 9 beam, so it is a wider boat, I would say, than a lot in this size range. And then it's got a 22 to 24 degree variable dead rise. So the dead rise varies along the displacement of the hull, designed to give you a smoother ride and really go through the chop. And then it has a 19-gallon freshwater tank, and it weighs in, this is what's incredible to me, 11,315 pounds dry with the engines. This is a serious boat, and weight has a lot to do with how it's going to ride through the water and how it's going to handle the chop. So with this thing being 30 feet 6 inches and 11,000 pounds, you have a serious fishing machine. It's going to be able to take tough conditions. And then it is set up like a true fishing machine with a 265-gallon fuel tank capacity, so you can go on those long runs out there. And then you've got a 22-inch draft, 700 horsepower maximum. This one's outfitted with the twin 300 Yamahas. I would maybe go with the twin 350s just because of the weight on this thing to get you there faster, and go to the full 700 horsepower with this boat just because of the weight. I think you're going to find that advantageous on this boat. You don't find that all the time, that going bigger is always going to get you that much more top end speed. But I believe on this boat, it actually will help because of the weight that we're dealing with, as well as the hull shape, which is going to give you an exceptional ride out in the chop and rough waters. But you're paying for it in that you need a little bit more power than your typical boat. But in my opinion, that is a trade-off that is worth it. And then look at just the quality here on the windows, in those stringers for the windows and how they're mounted in there. That is some serious hardware. And then once again, every time I'm up here, this front seating area is huge. It really is big for this size boat. And then you do sit up higher up in this hull than a lot of boats this size. You've got a 30-gallon bait well in the rear, and then you do have two really nice fish boxes in this boat. You've got them kind of down the center line of the boat. You'll probably see them when we turn back here, but plenty of storage for fish, gear, all that stuff, as well as you do have that onboard head. And then I love all these seats because they're really like a person and a half, two-person seat. So you don't feel crowded on them, and if it is just you or one or two other people, you are going to feel really nice and comfortable in these seats. And then plenty of cup holders, plenty of rod holders. Now, a couple of the things that really, if you don't know that much about Sailfish boats, I recommend you go take a look at these online and learn a little bit more about them, because a lot of people always talk about contenders, other boats like that that are serious fishing boats that have been around a long time. Sailfish, I don't think it has quite the same brand awareness as some of those more popular boats, but their quality and what they do to build these boats is actually really exceptional. And you feel it when you're on the boat, and just some of the touches there that you know you're going to be more comfortable, as well as things that they've got in here standard, like all that additional seating. If you're getting a dual console boat, that's what you want. You want a lot of seating so people can hang out on the boat, because you're not always going to be fishing. But they've thought about packing a seat in just about everywhere that you can put it in, but it's not a permanent seat. You can fold it up so that you can fish and it's not going to bother you all day. And that's what I love about these. But in terms of features and just construction overall, this has carbon fiber and Kevlar reinforced fiberglass, which you don't find that on every boat, and that is throughout the hull. And then you do have the closed cell foam flotation, and that's in a lot of boats now, but people traditionally think about Boston whalers as those boats having the closed cell foam that make them unsinkable, but this has that in there as well, and it's going to add flotation to keep it afloat, but also, most importantly, it's going to add deadening to the ride and vibration absorption while you're at speed. And you can see back here, actually, we've got some nice trim tabs on the back here as well. Now, my preference for a boat typically is Yamaha outboards. So this one has the Yamaha outboards, but you could get this outfitted with Mercruiser if you wanted to go that way as well. Overall, I just think this is a really neat boat. On these dual consoles, we did a Grady White Canyon Runner, which is pretty much about the exact same size of that. So I recommend you take a look down in the description below and take a look and compare these two boats. Both beautiful boats. However, after being on them both, I think I might actually prefer the Sailfish just a little bit more, and that's just personal preferences for everyone. And what I like about it is this hull up in the front is really high, and then your windshield up here, this thing is going to keep you out of weather, and it just gives you a lot of confidence in the boat itself. And then you can close that kind of area all off dual helm chair up there. But if you are a curmudgeon and you don't want anyone else next to you, right there, then I guess this is the boat for you, because it only has and then the helm chair there. I would maybe like if that helm chair was a double helm chair instead of a single. So that is maybe the one downside to this. But overall, I love this boat. It is a beautiful piece of equipment and machinery, and you could just tell that this thing is high quality, as well as it is meant to be be a serious offshore vessel and really fly out there, get you out on the ocean, on the lake, and instill confidence in driving this boat. That is what this feels like when you are on it. They're going to be able to conquer all, and I believe that that is possible with the weight of this boat, the width of this boat, as well as some of the features like you can see up here with the dual console. And I love that the dual console, you can close that window and you're going to be out of the elements completely. It's all the way up to the top there. But I really do like on a nice hot summer day to be able to get some breeze in there. And so that opens completely up that front window. And you're going to have plenty of breeze coming through the cockpit there. No worries when you are moving. Overall, this thing just checks a lot of boxes for me in terms of what you got. But there are a lot of good dual consoles in this size, so check them all out. Look at some of our videos and see what you like in here. And then this one was listed by Jefferson Beach Yacht Sales. I'm not sure if it's still available at the boat show. A lot of things end up walking away or floating away with people that like them. But overall, it was a pleasure to take a look at this boat and review it. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this review of the Sailfish 316 DC. Beautiful boat. And if you got any questions about it, click down in the description, comment on it, as well as if you want to be a better boater or learn some more about the outdoors, we've got all kinds of courses down there in the description. Those do help support this channel. And please subscribe, as that is great supporting of the channel as well. So thank you. We appreciate you, and we'll see you next time.